Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Bankole Olumo. I'm the founder of Responsive AI Agency, and I'm sure that a lot of us are, looking forward to 2026 for so many reasons. But of course, there are changes ahead, which is, amongst other things, what is making or trending right now is the NTA 2025, which is the new tax act, because it will affect everyone, especially everyone who is an employee and who is worried about the difference between what is currently obtainable and what is going to happen come 2026. We don't have so many tools out there. I can't count up two or three. That's why we've created this tool called PayClarity NG. So what it does is to help you as an individual or as HR agency to know, HR departments to know, you'll be able to compare 2025 and 2026 based on the new tax act for 2025. So what the system does is to, it takes the gross monthly pension percentage, and then if there's any chef, it converts it to gross to an annual figure, so that it can be compared across years, and then it now take the pension, which is 8%, and then NHF, and then what is left amount is what is tested against the PAYE for the bands of the 2025 new tax act, and then the system runs the same income through both the 2025 table and then through the 2026 table to get two tax amounts, and then lastly it now gives you a net, which is the gross minus the pensions minus the NHF minus the PAYE based on the person's band. And we know that the logic for the tax 2025 reform as follows: the Consolidated Relief Allowance has been removed, which is 200,000 plus 20% of your annual income. That has been removed and now has been replaced with what some people say as more favorable. Now there's a zero tax band, meaning that the first 800,000 of your annual taxable income is now fully exempt, zero tax rate. And the CRS is replaced with a new rent relief, which deducts 20% of your annual rent that you are paying, which of course is capped at 500,000 naira, and then it is now graduated. So we now have graduated rates based on your income in 800,000 and below, 800,000 and above, which is between 15% and 25% on your taxable income above 800,000, which the system has also factored in. So that means that you can come in here as an income earner, put in your gross. If you have you put in your pensions, you can ignore the state of employment. It's the same across board. You can put in your NHF if there's any deduction, if there's any NHIS, life insurance or annuity, mortgage, which if there's any, and then your annual rent. The annual rent is very important. So that means the three parameters that you use are your gross monthly, your pension employee percent, and then your annual rent. The reason being that part of the NTA 2025, now the government will now deduct you can pay less of 20% of your money inclusive of your rent, 20% of your annual rent capped at 500,000. So that will be taken out so that to not go that means your take home will be higher than it was in 2025, because now you now have a rent relief of 20% of your annual rent, 500,000 and below, which is an advantage over 2025. So you can use this system for free. You only have up to 3 simultaneous simulations a day. You can print your payslip, which is of course is watermark, and then you have a shareable link, and then you also have the 2025 versus 2026 calculator. If you want to have an unlimited simulations and you want to have payslip that has no watermark, you can also go for the personal account. But if you are an HR department and you have staff, so that means you can do bulk impact analysis of up to 2,000 staff at once, and we're going to demonstrate that in a minute. So let me just sign in here with an account that I've created, and then we'll be able to see. Okay, and test the system. All right, so I think okay, good. I missed the letter there. That shows that system we can't, it's act proof basically. You can just put in any details and it will allow you in. All right, fine. So I'm logged in, but this demo account as HR like, so that I can test the HR Bulk 2 for you to see. So let's assume you're just an individual who is interested in knowing how the NTA 2025, what you're getting at the end of the day compared to what you'll be getting this December, which is the last month of the year, and what you get in January. So let's assume that your monthly take home is 450k, for example. Or let's just say maybe 70,000 naira. Let's do the minimum wage. And then what else? You have your 8% employee pension, and then maybe your rent is 230k, 230, 123, and then we'll compare. All right, good. So the system is telling you that based on the old tax act and based on this your income, what you'll be getting net after deductions will be 61,689.33 kobo. But to show that the new tax act favors you, you'll be getting as from January 64,400 naira. And take note that it didn't tax you because your annual income, that's 70,000 naira, if you deduct your 8%, you will not be getting up to 800,000. So you will fall in the zero tax, you'll be tax exempt as is right. And so that means you have 2,000 naira more, that's 4%, almost 5% change, better than you will be earning in 2000. You were earning in 2025, as you can see from the analysis, and you can print your what do they call it, your payslip for the month. So that means you get the only deduction you get is 8%. You are not paying anything because you are less than the band. So as you can see that he has no pay because it's earning 70,000, so he has no taxable amount, and it's going on with 4% more than it was in 2025. And let's refresh this page and then look for someone that has maybe like a medium income earner, let me put it like that. So let's say it's earning like 350k, so that's obviously more than what the other guy earns, and then he has maybe like 300k rent. So we now do the calculation. And then we'll see that this guy, of course, if we can see that in 20, he has a marginal increase actually. So he's taking on more also because it's medium income earner. So he has 0.19% change. So instead of the 81,913 naira 3 kobo he's taking on in 2025, he'll be taking on 22,000. So it's slightly higher. And then if you print his payslip, of course you will see how much he needs to pay as opposed to the guy earning 70k, who is not taxable, because at the end of the year he'll be falling below the 800,000. This guy obviously will be more than that because his taxable annual income is 3.8 million. Of course, the principle still applies to the first 800,000 of his income, so that's why he's still earning more in 2026, meaning that the NTA pays both the low income earner and the average income earner, come next year. So that's how this system works. It like I explained earlier, it has factored in all the tax reform logic based on the NTA 2025. Now, the most important part of the tool is the HR department can bulk process, what it is like for their employees, and we're going to demonstrate that So if you have access to this tool, this part of the tool, you'll be able to process 2,000 of your staff salaries in one go. Or you can do that every other month. Maybe their salary changes or the case maybe. So what we've done with this is that we're giving you can download a sample CSV template, which I'm going to show you in a second. So this is what it looks like once you download, so that you can fill in the details. So you have basically the name of your staff, the emails, the gross monthly, the pensions, if there's any NHF, and then for those who oblige their rent annual, please educate your staff that there's a 20% relief that they apply to those who let the company knows how much they are paying for their rent, so that 20% can, so that they can know, they can take advantage of the 20%, deductions as well. So as you can see that, you have names, the email, the gross monthly, the pension, deduction, if there's any NHF, and then the rent annual, which you have to educate your staff that, they have this 20% relief. All right, so that's it's the that will be to the advantage that they also provide this information. All right, so that's shown. Let's go back to the tool, and then we'll upload that file, which has almost just about 3 employees. So we upload, and then we'll process, and then it's done in a few seconds. It could take a little bit longer if we have more number of staff there. And then we download. It's going to be a zip file. So what the zip file is going to contain, if we extract, it's going to be the Excel outputs for your thousands of, maybe 2,000 or 100 or 500 employees, and then a folder that shows the slips of each of the individual employees. Okay, all right, so let's open the file. Let's see what the master summary report looks like. So remember what the so the original file, this is what it looks like. It just has the name, the email, the gross monthly, the pension deduction, NHF, and then the rent for those who provided the rent. And then for the output file, you get an account standard output. So what you get is basically what you're supposed to pay. So you don't need to punch calculations, you don't need any Excel file with formulas, which is prone to error. You only need the PayClarity tool. So for John, minimum, of course, 70,000, 2025 monthly tax will still be 2,010. But for 2026, because at the end of the year is annual, if we deduct the 8% of pension, will be less than 800,000. It's not taxed, so the system auto calculates that. But for these other two guys, of course, they will be taxed for 2026. So you get to know from the spreadsheet what you are paying for the month. From here you can see, so you can see from the deductions and everything, you will see this is how much you're paying. Your minimum, Amaka entry, this is how much you're paying, and then you can see that the 2026 monthly rent, John minimum didn't provide this. If we go back to the file, so it's not getting the advantage of the new tax act for 2026, but this guy is getting 25,000 naira off, and this guy is getting 100,000 naira off because they provided their rent, which you can see here. This guy is 1.2 million annual, and this guy is 100,000 annual. So they're getting, so that this shows that it's of advantage to your employees if they provide this. And then you can see the percentage change. This guy gets 4.39% change, because it seems that the new tax act for 2025 favors the lower income earners more than it does the medium income earners and then the higher income earners. You can see this guy is 4.39%, this guy is 0.59%, this guy is 0.88%. So you can now feed this into your accounting software as the case may be, which from my understanding, most of the accounting software do not have this capability of calculating and doing a comparison of the 2025 tax act and then the new tax act for the 2020, the tax act we're using in 2025, and then the new tax act for 2025 that we're using in 2026. We don't have many systems who are currently doing that except PayClarity NG. So basically, you can do that for up to 2,000, of your workforce without having to lift the calculator or have to be worried about errors, because our system factors in the principle, for the 2026 tax reform logic, which removes the Consolidated Relief Allowance, zero tax band on the 800,000 annual taxable income, the new rent relief of 20% of annual rent paid, capped at 500,000 naira, and then the graduated rates, which is between 15% and 25% taxable income above 800,000. So just sign up today. Recommend this to your colleagues, recommend this to your company. This is the tool you can use to calculate and see that your company is in line for the NTA 2025, which is the new tax act for 2025.